Hello everyone, welcome back to Oneg Shabbat. Today we'll be discussing Parashat Tazria. Parashat Tazria will bring this to what we started already last week in Parashat Shmini. Parashat Shmini we started learning about all the different tum'ah v'tara. We learned about the kosher animals, not kosher animals, or to be more precise, the tahor animals and the not tahor animals. We continue with Dinei tum'ah v'tara. Now most of the parasha is taken by a big parasha of tum'ah v'tara, and that is Parashat Tzaraat. We start here and we'll only finish it next week. Parashat Tzaraat takes us through many different kinds of tzaraat. Tzaraat on the body, different kinds of tzaraat on the body, the clothes, the houses, many different kinds of tzaraat that we find. But Torah does not mention is lama tzaraat ba. What does one have to do in order to get tzaraat, or why is one punished with tzaraat? The Torah brings it down as something, the fact that is. It doesn't talk anything about the causes for tzaraat. So we'll try to give a few different stories from Tanach to try and show different ideas as to why Tzaraat is brought. We all know the Midrash that Rashi brings that has to do with Lashon Hara. Where did Rashi learn the idea that Tzaraat has to do with Lashon Hara? I think from two basic stories that have to do with Tzaraat that we find in the Chumash. The first story is in Ma'amad Asneh. In Ma'amad Asneh, after Moshe Rabbeinu tells Hashem, Am Yisrael vehem lo ya'aminu li velo yishmeu elai, they won't listen to me, they won't believe me, they won't believe that Hashem had been shown to me. Hashem gives Moshe Rabbeinu two otot. The first one, turning the staff into a snake. The second one, his hand comes out metzorat kashalig. So from here we see that Moshe Rabbeinu speaks illy of Am Yisrael, and therefore he's punished with Tzaraat. The second place we see is in Parashat Beha'alotcha. Parashat Beha'alotcha in the Midbar Perek Yud-Bet, we have the story of the Isha HaKushit. Miriam speaks about Moshe, who takes this Isha Kushit, and because she spoke ill of him, she's punished with Tzaraat. Now, this is what we see the idea of Lashon Hara. But if we look in Tanach, we'll find a few more places where we have Tzaraat, and we'll try to see if we can find a common denominator between all of these. So the next place I want to show that has to do with Tzaraat is in Sefer Melachim Bet. In Sefer Melachim Bet, Perek He, we see the story of Naaman. Naaman was Sar Tzva Melech Haram. It says in Perek He Pasuk Aleph, Naaman Sar Tzva Melech Haram Eish Gadol Lifnei Adonav Nesu Panim. Look at all these things it says about him, how wonderful he is. Nesu Panim, Ki Bo Natan Neit Teshua LeAram, Veish Haya Gibor Chayil, all these different trophies, but Metzorah, which means everything he had was basically worthless. Now, through the Perek, we don't have time to show this, but through the Perek you see how the worst thing that Naaman has is his ga'ava. He sent to the Navi, Elisha, for Elisha to take care of him, and he refuses to talk to Elisha. Elisha should come to me, he says. Elisha sends him to go to the Yarden and go in there 7 times. And Naaman says in Pasuk Yud Aleph, "Vayiksof Naaman ve'ilach vayomer hine amarti elai yetze ve'etzor ve'amad bekav Hashem Eloah ve'enif yado lamakom ve'asaf metzora." He should do everything. I should do it. He'll come out and he'll make magic. Halo tov amana ufarpar na'arod ha'mesek mikol bnei Yisrael. Halo echatz b'hem betarti. Why should I go in the Yarden or go instead of amana ufarpar na'arod ha'mesek? There's much more water there. There's much stronger rivers. Ma pitom will go there. So we see the ga'ava Naaman over and over ga'ava until he realizes that he should listen. He's convinced to listen. He comes. He goes into the Yarden. Bayashov besaro kibsar nar katon vayithar. Once he's able to step away from his ga'ava, we see suddenly how he becomes pure. The next case that we see is what we spoke about last week as well, and that's with the story of Uziyahu in Divrei Hayamim Bet Perek Kaf Vav. And there we see that when Uziyahu comes to Bet HaMikdash leaktir et haktoret, he is punished with Tzaraat asher porachat bemitzcho. Now, what is the common denominator between what we saw about avodah, about Lashon Hara, between Ga'ava and between Uziyahu trying to do the one who's maktir et haktoret? I think in all these places, we see people overstepping their place. Meaning, we see someone who deals with something that's more than what he should do, something that doesn't have anything to do with him. What's the idea of Lashon Hara? Lashon Hara is when someone speaks about other people, it makes their problems his problems. He thinks that what concerns other people concerns him as well. So Lashon Hara isn't just speaking illy of others, but it's also not realizing what is yours and what is not yours. If we look more specifically, Moshe Rabbeinu was told to go deliver Am Yisrael. No one told him to be the bikor, the category of Am Yisrael, vehem lo ya'aminu li. Go deliver Am Yisrael. Do what Hashem told you to do. When Moshe Rabbeinu became the one who's a category, he overstepped his place. The same thing we see with Miriam. When Miriam speaks illy about Moshe with the Isha Kushit, Hashem tells her, you think you're this kind of Navi, but Moshe Rabbeinu is a different kind of Navi, which means you think Moshe Rabbeinu is inside your circle of Nevi'im. He's at a complete different circle. You overstepped your place. The same thing with Naaman's Ga'ava. Naaman thinks that he controls everything. Naaman thinks that everything belongs to him. Suddenly he finds out that he's not as strong as he thought it was. He finds out that he's not only always the rabbi, but rather sometimes he's the pupil. Sometimes he has to listen. Sometimes he has to do. Not always people do for him. The same thing with Uziyahu. Uziyahu oversteps his place as king. Uziyahu thinks that as a king he can control all, he can do whatever he wants, and the answer is that he can't. The Tzaraat comes to put the person back into his place. You speak ill about other people, you speak Lashon Hara, start taking interest in what should interest you and not more than that. If you're a Navi, remember what kind of Navi you are, remember what kind of Navi you are not. Don't be a Baal Ga'ava who thinks that he's more than what he really is. That Tzaraat is right there to remind the person who he is, what is critical, what he should focus on, and that is where he should be. Shabbat Shalom.